Tell us one that we don't want to record.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun.
No, sir.
It's the rebel coming out of her now, Mama.
Yeah.
Wild woman.
She'll take anything.
I don't know.
Okay.
He and Endor,
I knew you were going to tell that.
yeah, my sister's husband. You think I shouldn't tell it? I think I shouldn't.
You tell it.
He worked. Don't put that on there.
Okay.
He worked with him in United States Gas Company, and they went out to this lady's house that lived out in the country to fix her stove or something, some kind of electric thing, and she has a real keen voice. You know, she talked real high like that all the time.
And
Well,
Daddy was very good at mocking people.
Mm-hmm.
So, continue.
So they went back, they got through, and they went back to the truck to get in, and Endo said, I need to pee, or I need to use the restroom. And,
He probably said, I need to pee.
Yeah, he pees, what he said. And so he went around and behind a tree, you know, and started peeing, and Shorty said, Mr. Gibson? And when he did, he peed all over himself. And he told Shorty, he said, I ought to kill you. One of these days I'm going to kill you.
That is hilarious.
I know, I wouldn't put that on there. But that was funny. It was so funny.
It's fun to hear Daddy tell it, because every time he told it, he'd get so tickled laughing.
Yeah.
He would tell the whole thing just laughing and cackling. He couldn't help
Did
but
hear him
laugh.
about when he first come back out of service, he was on quinine pills.
Mm-hmm, because of malaria.
And he was working with Endel again. That was early. That's before I ever met him. And they were working at Dr. Pepper Company. And you would have to straighten the bottles that would come around in a thing that they put caps on them. And
Like a conveyor belt.
yeah. And they would have to make sure the bottles were straight so the caps would go on good. So that's what they were doing. But Endel had Dr. Pepper sitting on the side. He was drinking. And so Shorty put a quinine pill in it before, you know, without him even knowing it. Directly picked it up, took a big drink, and of course it was bitter as it could be, and he spewed it out all over everything. That was another time he threatened to kill him.
That is hilarious. He was a jokester.
That's how I grew
Yes,
up.
Say that again, honey.
I just said that's how I grew up. That's why you had to retrain me when we got married.
he was always doing something.
Hilarious.
That's why I lost a good friend in college. Always playing jokes on him and teasing him. And one day we were in college class together, and the professor, it was a class on communications. It was the last class of the quarter. And the professor said, now today, we're just going to throw it open, and you can say anything you want to anybody in the room. And so this guy named Ernie said immediately, I mean, he didn't hesitate, immediately, he said, I want to say something to Keith Curry. He said, you've been teasing me and playing jokes on me for this whole quarter, and I'm sick and tired of it, and our friendship is over now. I said that in front of everybody. I apologized. I said I was sorry. I did everything I could, but the friendship was over. Never repaired it. But it taught me a good thing. It taught me to, you know, treat people, not be quite so quick to play jokes on people. That helped me. I learned to make myself the butt of the joke more. I'm still working on it.
We're working on a little bit.
Every now and then I'll play a joke that nobody knows who did it. And that's when it's fun.
Well, I can tell you another one. I told him, I said, Shorty, one of these days somebody is going to get you good for all the jokes you play on. I said, all this going to come back on you. Well, we were having our Christmas get together at Christmas, all our family. We first started getting together, it was at Christmas, because the kids were small learning. So he wrapped up a Mule, that cigarette holder, you know, that you pulled its ears and its tail come up and the cigarette would come out. And so he wrapped it up and put it under the tree for Endel. And so I told him, I said, well, if you're going to do that, I said, you better take the gift, find the gift that's
Well,
really...
that was kind of a gag gift, though, because the cigarette came out of his rear end.
Yeah, it was a gag gift.
Yeah.
It'd been going around.
Yeah.
And, but he started it.
Mm.
And so I said, if you're going to give him that, I said, you better take his other gift out. Of course, he didn't even put the other none there. Somebody else had his name. We drew names. And he didn't take it out. And so I was taking the kids to the church for something. I was having something at the Nazarene church, and I took all the girls over there. And on the way, Nancy said to me, did Uncle Shorty put a gag gift under the tree for Uncle Endel, for Daddy? And I said, why do you ask me that? And she said, well, he and Daddy and Cicero were looking under the tree and they found he had 2 gifts. And said they took one of them out. So that was on the way to the thing. On the way back, I said to her, I said, what you ought to do is tell Daddy and Uncle Cicero to take out Uncle Shorty's gift and put that in under the tree for him. So that's what they did. I didn't know if they did or not. So when they
Oh, yes, you did.
I really didn't. I figured they did, but I told her to tell them that.
It was a 99 chances out of 100 that they would do it.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Yeah, I kind of figured they'd do it when she told them that. So whenever they gave out the gifts, another thing he did, he played with everything. You know, he just was a monkey. And he would took the paper off of it, and he would open it, you know, like this, and he'd shut it. Just like he thought it was something. He'd open it, and he'd shut it. He'd open it, but he never looked at it very close. He just kind of opened it and shut it.
And everybody in the room was laughing because everybody knew what it was except him.
Except him. And finally, he opened it enough to see what it was, and he looked at it, and he looked at me, pointed his finger, and he said, I've been double-crossed. Well,
He had been.
he had been. And he didn't speak to me for 2 weeks.
And he didn't speak to any of his kids for 3 days.
That was a good one, I thought. You know, I had kept telling him, but I didn't know I was going to be the one that done it. But, I mean, it just tore him. I mean, it really got him.
It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember one time my cousin and her husband, Gene Frick, came to stay at our house when we lived on Morningside Drive. In those days, you just had an antenna on the TV on the roof, and then the cord came down, and it was 2 wires that came down into the TV that the signal came through. And so anyway, Gene Frick came and stayed with us, and he was supposed to be looking for a job, but he didn't look for a job. He just stayed home and watched TV. watch Daddy's TV. Daddy'd get up and go to work. Come home, Gene's still being